Here we are.
What's up, everybody? All three of you. I assume there's three. There was 5 plays. There's 2 of us.
That's right.
On that last one.
Yeah, so 3.
At
Makes
least
sense.
3 of you started it last time.
Unless I watched it 3 more times.
Did you?
No.
I couldn't get past the first 15 minutes.
To be honest, I don't even think I clicked the last one because I knew it was going to be that bad.
We got 4.
So it could be 4.
Yeah, because I did click it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah. All right. So since we have nothing to talk about ever, we are reading through Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, and talked about Rule 1 last time, which was stand up straight with your shoulders back. And then this week we read Rule 2, which is treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. So I think Daniel's going to lead us through this one.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Damn it, Sab.
No, he continues with the whole theme of chaos and order in this thing.
It's kind of across the book.
Yeah. It's been a while since I read it the first time, but it seems like he's going to kind of weave that all the way through it. And so he starts off by talking about how people don't tend to take the medication that they're prescribed when their doctor gives them something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more likely for someone to take care of someone else or to take care of a pet than they are to take care of themselves.
Yeah, right. Which, because he talks about that. Like, I could see somebody, not taking their cholesterol medication, or their blood pressure medication, something like that. But, it is shocking to me, the statistics he uses about how...
The transplants.
Yeah, the transplant. I don't remember exactly what he said, what percentage he said of people did not take their medication after they've had an organ transplanted, but apparently your body doesn't like it whenever you
put something foreign into it.
Yeah,
a lot of times the body rejects it.
Yeah, so you get a liver, a kidney, heart transplant. You have to take this immune suppressant thing, where they it basically hurts your immune system, but it keeps it from rejecting the organ.
Right.
Now, from what I understand, I think it can reject the organ anyway, but this just greatly increases the chance if you take this medication that won't happen to you. And so he was saying that huge percentage of people just don't take those pills.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that you've been on you got put on a waiting list.
Yeah.
Right? You've been waiting for it. You're sitting there. Finally, it comes through.
Yeah.
And then you don't.
Especially the stuff.
I wouldn't have thought it was that high. I would have thought no one would do that.
Yeah.
I like you said, I understand the cholesterol medicine or some bullshit like that, but
especially I don't know as much about heart patients or whatever, but the kidney thing he was talking about, dialysis,
right?
How you have to sit there for 8 hours a day, 5 to 7 times a week, and let all the blood circulate out of you.
It's got to be fucking miserable.
Yeah, I don't know that it hurts or anything. Obviously, I've never done it, so I don't know.
Time consuming.
Yeah, and so you're just sitting there. You think you've done this for so long, and you won't take these pills to keep your body from rejecting it.
Right.
And I assume that you're just going to die if you
right.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems odd why people wouldn't do that, but.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And so I think his point in this chapter is as people. He goes through the whole creation story and the fall of man in the Bible in Genesis 3, and how we can see, I guess, how, for lack of a better word, sinful or the potential of evil in ourselves or whatever.
It's unlike any other living creature.
Yeah,
you're conscious and self-conscious.
Yeah, and you have the capacity to hurt people and to know you're doing it. When he makes a point, when a wolf or something kills its prey.
Predation it's just natural. They're not doing it to cause suffering. They're doing it to eat. They're doing it to survive another day.
Yeah.
Whereas with humans, we will do things to people just to cause suffering to them.
Yeah, yeah. And I think his whole point was like we see that in ourselves, so we don't see ourselves a lot of times as worthy of being, of being taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
So when we see somebody else, like our child or somebody, we would be like, okay, that person's worth preserving, or whatever.
Right.
But we see, because we can't see all their inner thoughts, inner desires, and all that stuff. We see that on ourselves, and so some either consciously or subconsciously just go, okay, well, I'm not really worth saving, so
Right.
you're not.
So you don't take care of yourself. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't take your pills.
Yeah, or whatever it is. You don't.
Sure.
You overeat. You don't go to the gym. You drink too much.
Sure.
You do heroin. Whatever the case is, you're doing that, and you're not treating yourself as someone that that is worth taking care of.
Right.
Yeah.
It's great until he puts it into that. Like you don't think about those things. You don't think about I think it is subconscious. Like,
yeah.
Because it's not. I don't know. I mean, why don't I do things that I should do to make my life better?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's underlying. It's those things. It's because you do know who you are. You know every bit of your shit.
Yeah.
Even though, I mean, you have friends, you have people in your life, and they see you, but they don't see everything, right? They don't know everything about all your crappiness that is there, or is potential for crappiness that's there. So it, I don't know, I think it is a subconscious thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if that's everyone, though. Do you think some people... I don't know. It's hard to tell because individuals are different. But like, do some people maybe they do love themselves too much, and that's or maybe they're just addicted to dopamine that comes with whatever it is, food,
right.
drugs, alcohol, whatever.
Sure, but don't they know deep down that that's not going to lead to longevity and
yeah.
In the end, you'll have to pay. Like, I mean, I think you know that.
Yeah.
It's the quick dopamine, but it's not lasting.
Yeah. Yeah. Cheap dopamine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
then again, I don't know. Some people don't. I mean, there are serial killers, right? And that's what they want to do. That's what they.
Yeah.
But I mean, do they know too?
Yeah. And maybe they do, and maybe they just assume that everybody's that way.
Yeah.
So, and maybe they kind of realize that, and then.
Yeah, maybe they have a better understanding of it than most.
Yeah.
But it's a nihilistic understanding of it.
Yeah. Jordan Peterson talks about that, like this book, Panzram, that was about this. I mean, he was a serial killer, but not the way you think of it in movies.
Okay.
Like, it was just basically he was abused as a kid. It's in like the early 1900s when he was going around. So he was abused as a kid, and he came to just like hate people so much that he became like that, like just this nihilistic, hedonistic guy that was going to do whatever he was going to do. And he ended up in and out of prison. It was a lot easier back then because he'd just go to a different town and change his name.
Right.
And there wasn't like a fingerprint database or whatever. He'd break out of jail or whatever. And dude, it's weird reading that book and then having also read the David Goggins book. I think it's called You Can't Hurt Me. Anyway, there's something in their brains that were the same and went opposite directions with it. It was just like you couldn't fucking stop them. Like they were going to do what they were going to do no matter what. Like they would talk about like when this Panzram guy was in jail, like he would just bang on shit and like bang on these bars of this jail like all night for days, just continually doing it. And then he would try to break out. They catch him. They throw him in the hole. As soon as he got out, he was trying to break out again. And that was the same kind of relentlessness David Goggins had. That was just pointed at a positive.
Right.
Like, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL. I'm going to push my body to the limits and accomplish things nobody thought that I could or whatever. So
it is interesting. Like, what triggers that, and then what causes it to go one direction or the other. Is it the, I don't know.
Yeah. They were both didn't have a good childhood, but Panzeram's was worse.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, his was the easy way out. Like, he wasn't disciplining himself. It was just like he somehow was able to just wrap his brain in discipline, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I don't know, that was more Goggins. Like, he just was able to, like, power through pain and fatigue the same way, but it was just to a nihilistic end. I don't know.
It's interesting, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Why choose one over the other? Like, what is it that's clicking one way or the other direction that makes someone? Because it's easy to be nihilistic, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everybody sucks. Everything sucks.
Mm-hmm.
There's no meaning. There's no.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. It's tempting, even.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But it's also like, if you go down that road, you're not going to
be happy.
No.
But that's the point.
Yeah. Well, and you'll never do anything of it. Like, what's the point in doing anything?
Right.
Like, there is no, and that's why I think nihilism goes pretty hand in hand with hedonism, or at least it seems logical that it would for me. Like, if I thought everything was pointless, you know, people were basically evil, everyone's going to screw you over, what else is there to do other than to pursue the most pleasure that you can, whatever way that is, you know?
Yeah,
I don't
if that's
know what
the
else.
case, and that's the only solution. Like, that's the only thing to do.
Yeah.
Because why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you sacrifice anything for tomorrow? Why would you?
Yeah.
You know, put any whims today aside for a future. You wouldn't.
Yeah. It's even sometimes hard, and I think you were like, it's tempting sometimes. It's easy for me to lean that way, because, like, what he's saying at the end of this chapter is, like, anyway, his solution to all that is that, you know, life is suffering, and the things that people do in the face of this suffering to make themselves better, their family better, to better the stuff around them and keep everything going, is a huge task, and we should give ourselves credit for that.
Right. Which means you are worth it, right?
Yeah.
You should take your pills.
Yeah, you're trying to. Yeah, and he was like, and you are, like, even to your pet or your kids, like, there are people that care about you. You need to treat yourself.
I think you used, like, suicide as an example, right? Like, if you kill yourself, like, that, it's not just you doing you. Like, that affects so many people around you. Mm-hmm. Whether, I mean, even, like, if you weren't that close to someone, like, someone you know that, like, does that, it's like, man, that. But then there is your mom, there's your dad, there is your best friend. You know what I mean? And that, regardless of what's going on, that it's not just you doing you. Like, it.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Right. And I don't. But I mean, it's tempting to go into that nihilism thing, and maybe it's just like me coming out of Christianity and having that easy answer of, oh, well, you know, if you believe in Orthodox Christianity, then you know, that's the answer. That's the thing you're living for. You know, it's eternity. It's the glory of God. It's, you know, our happiness or our joy in God. Like, that's what the point of everything is. But you strip that away, and it's hard even for me sometimes to see what he's talking about, because the question in my head is like, why? I mean, I understand why I would strive to make things better for my kids, my wife, my friends, like that kind of thing. But it sometimes it's hard to find the motivate. Like he says, adopt your responsibility or whatever, or adopt your, I don't know, take up your cross and, like, work to make things better for, you know, humanity, the world in general. Sometimes it's hard for me to see a point in that.
Yeah, because I mean, like, strip away the people in our lives that we're doing what we're doing for, right? Yeah. Like, I'm with you. It would be very hard for me to not be nihilistic if it was just me.
Oh, yeah.
If I didn't have a wife and a kid on the way and parents that cared about me and friends that cared about me, if it was just me, I don't know, because I don't. Yeah. You definitely don't care about yourself as much as you do the people in your life.
Yeah.
But that's the point of this chapter, is that you should.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Like if something were to happen to my wife and kids, I think it would be easy for me to self-destruct.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Or just not care, let it go.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I think you'll, not having a kid yet, like you'll, once your kid gets here, and for me it even took him being a little bit older, like.
Yeah, babies, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't do anything with them.
No.
They're just whiny.
Yeah. I mean, you'll, I cared about the child, but like you don't.
Yeah, but it's not like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that isn't the same for all fathers, and maybe it won't be the same for me, but it seems like that bond happens a bit later.
Yeah, I think women experience that like immediately.
Sure.
Or at least it seems generally that they do. And men, and at least in my case, it's not until they're a little bit older and you can interact with them a little bit.
Right.
Because, I mean, and that happens, you know, even before a year old, you can start interacting with them, you know, making them laugh and that kind of stuff. But you know, the first few months, you're just like, man. Or I was like, man.
It's rough.
Yeah. But,
I don't know.
but no. Man, I love, like, something about this book I've noticed, and I'm sure it kind of carries on, like, throughout the other chapters. It's like the end of the chapters where he's, like, after he's made his point, and then it's, like, almost like a motivational, like, section where he's just, like, speaking about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's some of the best shit.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you could just go back and read just probably the last few pages of every chapter, and, you know, between that and, like, knowing what the rule is.
Right, you could
Yeah.
kind of get the point.
You could get the point and get motivated to do something. Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that one, like, even the first time I read through this was like, I don't know. You sit there and you're like, why don't people take care of them? Like, why?
Yeah.
Do it. Like, you should love yourself. And that's the thing that, like, a lot of people talk about. They're like, you know, people are selfish. Are they? They hate themselves most of the time. They don't even do the best thing for themselves on 99% of the time. They're being destructive towards themselves. And the only thing keeping them going is that maybe there is someone in their life that they're still here, you know, trying to keep it all together for. You know what I mean? But
yeah, it's funny just being in church. I remember that point being made pretty frequently, like when the Bible says, "Love your neighbor as yourself." Mm-hmm. Like, I remember pastors just constantly being like, you know, that's the reason it says that is because it's completely assumed that you love yourself, and so
yeah, but that's not that's not reality. Not really.
I don't think it is either.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it.
Mm-mm.
You do want a lot of people do want what's best for themselves, but they're not necessarily willing to put in the work or to even, you know, fight for it, really.
Right.
Like he talks about that, like in the context of like a marriage or a relationship. Like, you have a responsibility to fight for your own interest in that, just like your spouse or significant other has their responsibility to do the same. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't, you're just one person's gonna become a tyrant, the other one's gonna become resentful.
Right. You want both to be strong and on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway.
What you got, man?
I don't know. What you got? Anything else in it?
Well, you know how I love to read out loud. Go ahead. Give me something.
I don't know. I feel I want to look more into like the whole Taoist thing that he talks about, the Yin and Yang, because it seems like there's so much to that, and every time he mentions it, you're like, yeah, that makes sense, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I definitely want to look more into that. I don't know. I do like the way that he sees the Bible, and I think that that's probably more realistic than the way Christians see it.
100%.
Like, it's not, this didn't happen like this.
Right.
This was
there's underlying wisdom here. Like, quit taking it literally because you're missing the fucking point.
Yeah, like he said that he was like back then, he was just talking about science and that kind of stuff as we saw the world as material didn't come around until later on.
Mm-hmm.
And then, before, people would use stories because they valued more like the experience of things. And so they would put that in there that way. And that, that does seem, the way that he looks at it, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And it's a shame that people have thrown the Bible away because of the church's version of how it's supposed to be interpreted.
Yeah.
And it there's so much truth and wisdom there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe there's more truth than even that to it, you know what I mean? Maybe there's some of it could be taken literally, but shit, man, it's got things in it that you can implement in your daily life that will keep you from nihilism.
Yeah.
That will put you on a path to, I don't know, it's just a better way to live, and it's not, the thing is though, is like you can find those things in other places too.
Yeah. Which would make sense because, the Muslim or the Buddhist or whatever has the same types of lived experience, same human experience. They're putting it in their writings.
Right.
That's why I think a lot of it overlaps, you know, and a lot of the teachings, a lot of the morality, that kind of stuff. Because when you look at it literally, there's literally no way that this stuff in there happened, right?
Yeah.
And it's also, it falls into kind of the same trap that I think a lot of the woke crowd does now too, because okay, so if I'm a Christian, I'm looking at this stuff literally. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like in Exodus, God giving them laws for slavery. Like, you can beat your slave as long as he doesn't die within 2 days. If he dies within 2 days, then you're responsible for it. But if it dies on the 3rd day, it's your he's your money and you just lost it.
Yeah.
Or if you give your slave a wife and then you have to let that slave go in 10 years or 7 years, whatever it is, and if they choose their freedom, they can't take their wife or their kids with them.
Some fucked up shit.
Yeah. So if I'm looking at that thinking, this is all literal and God is like this, that doesn't make any sense, right? No. But if you're looking at it the way that these are imperfect humans that we're trying to work shit out, maybe like the Israelites did have slaves and do blood magic and they shouldn't have done those things, but maybe they got a lot of shit right too, right? And it's the same thing I feel like the woke crowd does with Thomas Jefferson or these people back in the day. They're like, oh, fuck them,
right?
They had a slave, or they were
they completely cancel the whole thing, and you're missing the good shit that Jefferson had to say.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with them now. It's easy to cast that stone, but like, who knows what people are going to look back at us right now and see that we're doing that is completely and totally immoral. Like how we're, are people going to look back at me and you? Like, I don't think either one of us support abortion, right?
Right.
Especially on the scale that it's done, and for what, if the mom's going to die, I got it. That's fine. But what we're doing now, where there's more deaths than the Holocaust and stuff, is completely evil. And the reason that people do it is for financial gain, like most of the time.
Yeah, it's I can't afford it. I can't afford to have this kid. So.
And if you knew abortion wasn't an option, then you would be more careful not to get pregnant in the first place, probably, right?
That makes sense, yeah.
So, but, are people going to look back at us and be like, those two pieces of shit just sat there and talked about this book while babies were being slaughtered on a mass scale?
Sure.
you know.
Yeah.
And that's just one thing. I mean, we could talk about just the endless wars that our country wages in the Middle East that slaughter already born children, like, and that kind of shit. So, like, it's easy to sit here and judge these people, but, you know, most of these idiots, these woke morons that got Trump out of office, you know, and voted in Biden, now Biden's bombing Syria and killing kids, like, good job, guys.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. You put somebody in office like freaking Kamala Harris, who was literally keeping people locked up past their sentences for cheap labor. She said it. And she's going to be president one day because that old fuck ain't going to make it. And
ain't that the truth?
Yeah. So you guys probably should stop judging people so harshly in the past and hope to God they don't judge you that way.
They don't judge you that way because it's coming.
Yeah.
You know, if this type of mentality continues, you will be judged that way.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
There's no getting around it.
Yeah, because y'all are on the, like, those kind of people are on the same freaking path that, you know, Nazi Germany, that kind of stuff. Because, I mean, the way that they talk about people and dehumanize them, if they don't buy into every little jot and tittle that they think, you know, it's all just become, and honestly, like, you want to talk about the, what is it, where the Christian, the Catholic Church or whatever slaughtered people like they were
like
the Crusades.
The Crusades, yeah.
Yeah. That's what this is going to turn into, because make no mistake, these people are, it's a religion. It's a secular religion.
Listen, man, dogma is a problem regardless of where it is fucking coming from.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. Like, it's insanity. It doesn't matter. It can be Christian dogma. It can be Islam dogma. It can be fucking the left dogma. It can be the right dogma. It doesn't matter. Like, that's fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And it always will be. It causes problems.
Yeah.
Because you're not taking into account that people are people.
Yeah.
You know, and they're going to do things, and we should talk about it. Like, that's what it boils down. We should reason over it. You know.
Yeah. And if you don't talk about it, you're never going to come to some kind of agreement. You're never going to. I think you need to be able to, and I think this is a Jordan Peterson thing, you have to be able to speak to be able to think. Like, you can't.
Absolutely.
If you can't have a free and honest conversation, then
right,
you're
because
not
I could be sitting there and be wrong with all of my thoughts, but until I can talk to someone that has a differing opinion than me, I'll never know that.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah. If it was, I don't know, if agnostic atheist speech was illegal, you know, I would have never talked to my friends that were that way about it. I would have never listened to debates and all that kind of stuff, and I would never have been able to reason my way out of Orthodox Christianity.
Right.
Like, and it's the same for everything. I mean, we all have these preconceived notions. We have to be able to talk about them, or we're not going to grow and move forward.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
Consciousness has come to a halt at that point.
Yeah.
Like, you're not expanding it in any way if you cannot speak.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I do think. Honestly, our friend St. Clair was the first one that said this to me and made me think about it. But I used to think, like,
he's a gentleman and a scholar.
I used to think that the Second Amendment was the most important one, and he was like, "No, man, it's the First Amendment. Like, that's the freedom of speech, you know, thought, and that's absolutely right.
Sure,
and that's why
100%.
Yeah, that's where the whole saying came: "The pen is mightier than the sword."
Yeah,
or whatever. Because I was listening to a podcast today, and they were talking about, you know, how that Kyle Rittenhouse guy that defended the play, like,
who's that?
He was like a 17-year-old kid, I think. I think he was 17, maybe 18, and he was in one of these riots, and he like had an AR-15 and was trying to keep.
Okay.
People. Anyway, they attacked him.
He ended up shooting
himself.
a couple people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, completely. You look at it as in self-defense, completely. But they have crucified that guy, and that's what they were saying. They were like, "Tell me again that memes and this kind of stuff are not more powerful than AR-15 bullets. And
Yeah.
they are, because like that's what he
100%.
said. That was, they were just waiting for someone to shoot to try and, go after guns and the right and whatever
Yep.
else. And it worked. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. We have to be able to talk.
Yeah. Yep.
What else you got in here, man? Give me something.
I don't know. I've got some stuff underlined, but
Read it.
I don't know, man. I'm trying to look and put it in context or something.
Doesn't have to be in context. Just read it.
Oh, man. I don't know. He says on page 56, I underline towards the middle of the page in the first full paragraph, he says, "We remember, so to speak, we remain eternally nostalgic for the innocence of childhood, the divine, unconscious, being of the animal and the untouched cathedral-like old-growth forest." I don't know. I think that's true. I think that's where a lot of nostalgia comes from, why you think of your childhood as more, I don't
Wholesome.
know. Yeah, because you're like, you didn't know all of
Mm-hmm.
the shit. You didn't have this
It
stuff
was
on your mind.
Adam and Eve before the fall.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't care. I didn't have a thought in the world about all this. Only me and my friend to go to Six Flags, find some girls. That's
Yeah.
what I wanted. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like it's more simple, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he goes on to say, I think on that, it doesn't matter whether you're atheist or not. Like that's, we all kind of strive for that. Like you can resonate with those things, right? With the innocence of childhood and the old growth forest. Like it's something that's pure.
Yeah.
It's something that isn't tainted.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was interesting too, like in his little speech at the end here on page 63, the last sentence of the last paragraph on there, last full one, he says, Friedrich Nietzsche so brilliantly noted, "He whose life has a why can bear almost any how." And so, yeah, I mean, that's true. If you have something that's properly motivating you, you can get through just about anything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. So this should all this, like, taking care of yourself should properly motivate us as we do this 7-day fast that we're planning on doing, right?
Yep, that's right. That's right. We are. When are we starting? Thursday. So Wednesday
night.
Wednesday night will be our last meal.
If you don't get a podcast next week, it's because we're both pissed
That's right.
and we can't do it.
Yeah. If next Sunday for some reason it didn't get uploaded,
Yeah.
it's gonna be because of that.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, we're doing it to better ourselves. We're doing it because we love ourselves, right?
Yes, that's right. Our kids, we may have some kind of cancer growing in us. We need
it to start eating it away.
Yeah. And I think I need to do it more just as like a practice and discipline.
Sure.
Hopefully that'll start some momentum towards, going to the gym, eating better.
It's okay to be uncomfortable. In fact, it makes you a better person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the foot in the chaos, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's walking that line between the yin and the yang.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. If there weren't so many people that fucked up that yin and yang for me, I'd fucking get a tattoo of it.
What does that mean?
It just is such a fucking cringy thing. Like, so many weirdos who like martial arts, like, are like into the yin and yang, and I'm just like, I always thought it was like such a nerdy fucking thing.
Did you?
But yeah, man, absolutely. But it means so much more to me now.
Yeah.
But
Well, they probably understood it.
I don't think they did.
You don't think so? I think a lot of those people that are into martial arts do understand that shit.
Karate, really? No.
I mean, I haven't known a lot of people into martial arts, but like my kid's jiu-jitsu class, like,
Do they? That's the Brazilians, man. That ain't the.
Yeah, but I wouldn't talking to those people. I would not be surprised if that. I haven't seen that on anything, but I would not be surprised if those people get this stuff.
Yeah,
like they're not just.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. Growing up in the '90s, it was like a big, like Yin and Yang was like a big thing, and like no one understood what it was. It was just you. It was cool. It was like
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And so
I
don't know.
I'm planning on getting one to cover up this prison tattoo I got on my shoulder.
Are you really?
Yeah, it'll work because like it's like black or whatever.
Yeah,
and so it'll have to be pretty big, but it'll that way.
Prison tattoo.
Yeah.
This is when we need video so people can see that.
This work shit I have on my arm. Listen, it's so funny because like the way this tattoo happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're me and the band I was in, we were on tour, right? Mm-hmm. And we were a Christian band that we never really did anything other than it was the whole Under Oath era. So like none of our songs were about anything like that. Mm-hmm. Not that you could understand our terrible screamer, even if they were, but like it was just all. It was very Zayo or Haste the Day. Like you can't really understand what those guys are saying.
You don't knock Haste the Day.
Listen, let me pick a random song and see if you can identify 20 words in it. I bet you can't. Jimmy Ryan could not. I mean, I think that our screamer,
pick American Love, I don't know every word.
Well, I think our screamer was going for that, so like I don't. Think
I agree, but it
like,
wasn't on the.
He loved those two bands, so like I think that's what he was trying to do. Anyway, I'm getting off base. So we were on tour, and like this tattoo I have was like our, I guess one of our band symbols. It was on different stuff that we had, and so me and him went to go get this tattoo. So we were sitting there getting and talking to like the tattoo artist. He was this rough dude, and he was doing mine. I don't know. Somebody else was. We were like next to each other getting them, two guys.
Yeah.
We're giving and like he starts telling this story. And I mean, we hadn't been talking to this guy long, and we were like, yeah, we're in a band. That's what this is, whatever. And he goes, man, I had these kids come in here. They were in a band, 18, and they were in this Christian band. He goes, man, I cannot stand Christians. He was like, I was just kept like going real deep just to piss the kid off. Like he was like, I just dropped the needle on him. Me and Matt are just sitting there like,
we ain't Christian.
No, we didn't say a word. Like,
turns out you were.
Yes, at the time, yes, yeah.
That's great. You're gonna cover it up though, man. You need to keep that. Get that yin yang on the other side.
That looks like complete shit.
It's fine.
It's not fine.
It's a memory.
It is.
Keep it.
I have the memories. I don't need that. I got a T-shirt. You got the T-shirt.
I do have the T-shirts.
Yeah.
That band plays at the intro of every one of these fucking podcasts.
Yeah, that's right. That was one of our better ones. One of the newer ones. But anyway, so we're going to try and start doing better at this. Getting it every week. Trying to put more into it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We got a Jamie.
Yeah. I still think it would be interesting to have other people in here. If we could find somebody that was engaging, that could talk, that would, like, we could bring on somebody that was Muslim or like a Christian pastor or something and just have conversations with them.
That's the thing, man. I want someone who will come on here and not be pissed off that we disagree with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's just have a conversation. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind, and I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not. Yeah. But here's the thing, like if you can present something to me, I'm fairly open-minded.
Yeah.
Like if you can present something to me that I think is the truth, I'm willing to change my mind.
Yeah.
But
we need to find somebody too that's like a real left-wing social justice person.
That'd be great. I wish we could. And maybe there's someone out there that would be willing to do that, but it seems like it's a difficult thing to find.
It'd be really interesting if we could get, because we have 4 microphones.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if we get one, they're going to kind of feel ganged up on. If we could get 2 people that know each other.
Yes.
That have that, and then we could do it, I feel like that would be.
Mm-hmm. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And I'm a dumbass, so they might be able to beat me.
Yeah.
Just I mean, you could be just smarter than me and beat me at your own game, or in my own game. But yeah, I mean, that is what we need. We need we need people that disagree with us. We've talked about this. Me and you agree too much.
Yeah, it probably makes it boring.
Sure.
That's why we need Caleb here with his
Caleb always seems
purple,
to throw a wrench
whatever.
in things.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Caleb.
Amen. We agree on that too. He ain't even listening to this.
No, of course he's not. The man has been on here for fucking 30 episodes.
Yeah.
Ain't listened to anything else we've put out.
No.
Didn't listen to the ones he was on.
Damn it.
Shit.
So, anyway, we're going to try and make this not as sucky. Maybe we can get up to 10 views.
That's right. We want 10 views per episode.
Yeah.
That's a goal. We get some video in here. That's going to happen soon.
Yeah.
So
I think it would be, it's just too much. Like, I'm sure some people know how to do it, but I also think it would be fun to, like, do a reaction thing. Like, if we could get video, like, get a camera pointing at, like, those 3 seats over there, and me and you and Caleb sitting there.
Yeah.
And have, like, attachable mics or whatever, and then, like, be able to put stuff on YouTube on the television, have, like, a split screen of us, and then be able to do, like, reaction stuff to that.
I think so. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
It would be fun for sure.
Yeah, I think that would be
regardless
more
of the views.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Not as serious, like, but just making
Just
fun of
fucking
stuff.
around.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.